The FBI and NSA are tapping into the servers that hold our Facebook accounts, our Gmail and Hotmail correspondence, and much, maybe even most, of what we all do on the internet. That's according to these slides obtained by the Washington Post describing the capture of emails, photos, videos, a lot of our stuff from most of the internet's biggest players. The government says the program is legal and targets only foreigners on foreign soil. Interestingly, many of the companies mentioned, Google, Facebook, Apple, and Yahoo, more or less deny allowing that blanket access to their servers. Barton Gellman wrote the piece that broke the story and led our paper today. Thanks for coming by to talk about this big story. So, at first blush, it looks like either these companies are big fat liars or our story is wrong, because they deny allowing this access.
Apple says, we've never heard of PRISM. Well, maybe they haven't. I mean, they know there's some guy in a tie who came from the FBI and the NSA to talk to them and didn't necessarily tell them the code name. Somebody else says, the Google says there's no backdoor. Well, we don't say there's a backdoor into the server. Others say that Facebook had a very clever one, which I'm sure is true as far as it goes, in which it says that when the government comes to us and asks for individual information, we make sure that that is it's grounded in law, and then we'll comply. He doesn't say that the government doesn't ever come to them asking for bulk information, which it does.
In recent weeks, we've learned that both the AP and a Fox reporter have had their correspondence surveilled. So I wonder what your level of concern has been as you've been developing this story for your own correspondence, how concerned your source is, who is someone in the government. Where does all that stand?
These are very challenging times if you want to do accountability reporting on the government in anything that touches anywhere near national security, certainly touches anywhere near signals intelligence. And sure, we've had to give it a lot of thought. I think, and the Post certainly thinks, that this story deserved public scrutiny because they've been doing something very big that a lot of people would be interested in and concerned about that no one knew. And we did hold back quite a bit from this story. For sure, this method produces valuable intelligence, and some of it is stuff that we looked at just on our own and said, we're not going to publish that, and there are other things we talked to the government about. Nonetheless, despite there's sort of an element of cooperation in this, they did not want us to find it out in the first place or to publish any of it. And you have to be considerate of the possibility that there will be a leak probe, and I have done my best, frankly, and as has the source, not to be vulnerable to the things that the AP and Fox News were vulnerable to.
As you understand it, does your source believe he or she is safe, or are they ready to face consequences in the name of exposing this if need be?
The source believes that exposure is inevitable and was prepared to face that consequence.
The source believes he or she will be exposed?
Yes. The source does not believe that it's possible to stay masked forever, and I don't even think wants to stay masked forever. I think the source believes himself to be, because I said in the story, it's he, believes himself to be a whistleblower, that he's operating out of conscience. He thinks that what the NSA doing exceeds all reasonable boundaries of privacy or necessity. And I think he wants to stand up and say that. But in order even to be in a position to get word out, he had to be stealthy for a while, or he simply would have been preempted. He would have been arrested and preempted, and that would have been the end of that.
Why do these companies authorize this?
There's a pretty complicated set of incentives and compulsions. The law does provide that the government can direct them to give access, and that if they don't give access, the government can ask this secret surveillance court to order them to give access. But in a situation where you have a clandestine program and a very rich and powerful opponent, if suppose it's Facebook, they don't want to litigate this with Facebook. They don't want a chance of it leaking. They don't really have to fight something as big and powerful as Facebook. Facebook also, being a highly regulated industry and having all kinds of issues with privacy or whatever else, doesn't want to antagonize the government. So they negotiate it. Now, Apple took, sort of, 5 years?
Dragged their feet.
I don't know that you would call it that, because I don't know what happened. But all I know is that Microsoft joined in 2007, and Apple didn't do it till the end of 2012. they would have been just as interested in Apple. So, you know, either on technical grounds or on cost grounds or on legal grounds, they extended this negotiation.
Someone sent me an email today that just had the words "tip of the iceberg" in it. If this is the tip of the iceberg, what might the rest of the iceberg look like?
Well, we're always trying to form hypotheses on this. This one, frankly, exceeded any iceberg I had imagined.
It's a big tip. If this is the tip, oh my goodness.
Look, there isn't anything else like this. I mean, there's no precedent for this one because there's never even been a data set that was so large and rich and enticing for an intelligence service. People used to make jokes about this. You know, Google is the, you know, or Facebook, you know, they're the best intelligence service on earth. They know more about you than anyone. So now the NSA gets to have all that plus its own secret sauce and combine it all. But again, only if you meet their legitimate criteria as they see it, and that you're not allowed to monitor.
Okay, very interesting stuff. I hope and expect this will not be the last time we chat about it.
Thank you. I hope not as well.